Welcome back, guys, to a new video in this trade journal tutorial series. Anyway, in this video, we're going to be talking about the day trading tab. We're going to be talking about the swing trading tab. And we're going to be talking about the investing tab. They're all very similar, at least how they work. They're just kind of separated just for clarity and statistic purposes. So this is also actually where I spend most of my time, because this is where you enter all of your trades and you see your statistics, and you can really learn a lot from these tabs. So I hope you're going to enjoy them, because I know I love these tabs, and it makes me sound a little crazy. But enough with the talking. Let's go ahead and move over to it right now. All you have to do is come down here and click day trades, and this one is going to be completely empty. I left this one empty, one, because it was a lot of time to enter those fake trades, and two, because it's always nice to see what a completely clean sheet looks like. That way you know you're not making any mistakes. I filled out the swing trades and investment trades with the dummy information, so you can better play around with it and kind of get a feel for what it actually looks like when it is filled out. Let me go ahead though and use this one as a pure example though, and kind of just talk about the columns one by one before we see what it looks like with actual information. Again, this is a column you guys won't have to touch. This is just to kind of count what trade it is, so you know in the future. A lot of statistics are also calculated on this number. Here you can just add a date like 1/12 or whatever it is today. Today is 3/27. I know the thing behind me says something else, but you're just gonna have to believe me. So then you can add the symbol. I just noticed all of these say Litecoin. That is a pure accident on my end. Anyway, it's going to, well, you can really put whatever you want here, but you can feel free to, you know, if it's NEO, just go like that, or if it's BTC, you know. And then status, this is really cool. So if it's planned, nothing gets calculated. No statistics get calculated. But the second you change it to maybe it's a live trade, again, nothing gets calculated. But now when you switch it to, let's say, close trade, then you can see up here, these statistics start changing, because now they have some numbers to work with. And these numbers, even though are 0, are at least better than, you know, not applicable. So, so now we have all this information. And let's just keep moving. So we have this column, type. What is type? Type is if it's just, is it a long trade? Is it a short trade? And then you can kind of enter that information, and then and some of the statistics later will be calculated off of that. Again, amount is just how much you're entering a trade with. Maybe you are entering a trade with 100 Bitcoin. That would be pretty big. Let's make it more realistic. Let's say you're entering a trade with 100 Litecoin. Now you know why I have Litecoin. Litecoin is actually one of my favorite things to trade. I talk about it a lot in my weekly trade reviews, but it's my favorite because well, this is a little off topic, but I love trading it because of the volatility, and the general market cap allows me to be very liquid with my trades. Anyway, so we have fees. How many fees did this cost? Let's say this cost you 15 bucks, and then your entry amount was, what is it now? Right now it's at $59.91, and ideally you would sell it maybe for a nice little tidy profit at $61.50. This would actually be pretty big profit, but still 2.65%. So you can see here, some things I really love about this is you can see your position size, and over time, let's go ahead and close this trade. So this is now closed. And over time, you're going to be able to have an average position size, which is a really cool thing to kind of know. That way you instantly know if you're being aggressive or not based on statistics. And you have your P&L, which is really cool. I like to get out of my day trades between 2 and 3%. So this would actually be a fairly nice exit. You can see your profit and loss in monetary amount. So you have a percentage monetary, and then what I always like to do is add a pattern to it. So one of my favorite patterns is a very simple support line bounce, or maybe we'll say in this case we'll do a breakout bounce long, which is another really cool thing. And then here with a comment is, you know, reached major resistance but broke out, waited for price to come back. And then you could say, you know, amazing exit, blah, 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 sold into strength, right? So now you have a little description, maybe to remember it. I actually usually I actually usually write a lot here myself. I'll put at least a paragraph, so 3-5 sentences on any opening and closing comments, because I really like to be able to go back to it and really learn what I was thinking. And then I'll even go ahead and take pictures of the charts and just kind of document it with maybe this one, so I know which trade that chart picture refers to. Yeah, and over time you're gonna build a really nice statistic library. You're gonna know your winning ratio. You're gonna know your total profit. You're gonna know your average wins and average losses. Average wins up here, average losses down here. So you're gonna get a lot of statistics to be able to improve your trading off of. And yeah, I think that's very basic. Oh yeah, let's move over to the swing trade charts now and the investing charts. You're gonna see these are identical. The only big difference is, well, the only difference would be to later on in the weekly, moving over this information. Well, actually, I'll just talk about that right now. Another thing I want to talk about even beforehand is these patterns. This information actually gets carried over here to this stats tab, and this we're going to talk about a little bit later. But this stats tab will let you know in the future what are your best winning chart patterns. And these are things you can customize. You don't have to use the ones I pre-populated here. So yeah, let's move over to the swings tab. I don't know why that's so weird to say. But this tab I made already based on the information in the weekly chart. So if you want to learn how it works to move information over, this is kind of how it looks. All right. Here you can see a bit better of what some of the ratios might look like. Based on this information, we have a winning ratio of 66.67%. You can see total profits, our average position size, which is always really nice to see. You can also see our average winning percentage, and then how much that amounts to. All these numbers are really cool because it'll give you an indicator on, maybe you should take some profits because you're already over your winning average. And you know what they say, you don't want to get greedy because a profitable trade can instantly turn it into a loss if you don't take your profits off the table. So working with these statistics over time will hopefully give you a much better idea and kind of concrete evidence. So you're not working on pure feeling, even though in the end, a lot of times with trading, it is very feel-based, but now you're going to actually have some statistics to base those feelings off of. And it's a really amazing thing because over time, once you have 100 trades or something like that, you're going to build a huge library to really know your trading style. I'm super stoked to actually talk about these stats tabs because a lot of interesting kind of numbers come together. And one thing I just noticed and I want to point out is, see this live drop down it's a good way to see that this trade, I already maybe opened it. What I didn't do here is I didn't actually add any numbers. So this live trade would already say, let's say I have 100 in it. It would come over here and you would also have an entry already. I don't know, EOS, what's the EOS price? Like 5.5 maybe? So, well, I guess you would have a lot more than 100 based on your average position size. So yeah, so let's say this is what was our open trade and our ideal exit, right? Our ideal exit would be maybe 6. This is a swing trade, so it's going to be a bit more aggressive, I would say, or we're looking for bigger returns. So maybe just a clean 6.3 or 4. Let's go with 6.4. Yeah, that's already kind of a lot. Typically with swing trading, I'm looking anywhere between around 10%, and 15% is already really nice. So 16%, that's definitely on the top end. But you'll notice that nothing has been calculated yet here on the top on the statistics. That doesn't change whatsoever. That only changes once we close this live trade. And that's when this information gets updated, and you can go ahead here and maybe finishing out with, I closed this trade because I finally blah, blah, blah. Whatever you want to write. Cool. I'll leave this trade open for now so it doesn't affect the statistics, even though it's more or less irrelevant. This is dummy information. And yeah, let's go over to the investment trades. Again, this is the information you're going to see below. And let's kind of, or you're going to see in the weekly tab. Sorry, I've never actually had to explain this so much. And there's so much to talk about. That's really exciting. we've been building this out or I would say improving it for the last maybe 2 years, roughly, a little bit less. So a lot of this has gone through various upgrades, and it's kind of fun to look at. Anyway, yeah, so this first investment trade was made on the 4th, right? So let's go back to this weekly trade, and we closed it out. Since we closed it out, we have profit, and let's copy over this profit. All I do is take that, move it over here, go to the 4th, right? This is when we open the trade, but we actually close the trade down here. So I say 0.5, close the trade, I enter that profit, and for easy purposes, I like to say I closed it, and anything else, any interesting other facts. With day trading, it's a lot easier since you just put, a 1, and then you put that information right there. So that's kind of how the day trading tab, swing trading tab, and investment tab kind of work with the weekly tab. You just move over the information. It's very simple. And you know what? I actually just noticed on the weekly tab, when you run out of space, right? So let's say you start a new week, all you do is copy it below like that. And the chart will automatically populate for you with the new information. And then just go ahead and delete this information. So just like that. That is all you do. You can see these numbers are 0. And then as the new week starts, we also have to change the date. Easy way to change the date is just move these numbers down, and then you go ahead and fill out the next week. And that's kind of how that moves along. Sorry, that probably should have been part of the weekly, but so much information to talk about, and I am looking just to kind of get all this out there. All right, cool guys. I think that is everything I want to talk about in this video. In the next video, we're going to be talking about the CPU tab. You probably noticed we skipped that one a little bit, but it's nothing too crazy. So I'll see you on that video. Ciao, ciao.